everyone. This is Angela, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Maren. You've got episode 102, where we ease back in, a post-holiday check-in. And we're going to talk all about that in just a few minutes. But first, we just want to say hi. Welcome back, everybody. This is our first episode back in the new year, and we are so happy to be here.
Yes. I mean, we loved break, but we're glad to be back.
We really did love break. Wasn't it so interesting? I mean, really, we didn't even want to take the break because there was, we love this so much, and yet the break was such a relief.
It was the
great.
first break in a while where I've been like, oh wow, I really needed that.
Oh wow. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yep. So I do feel now, I feel ready to come back.
Yep.
I mean, it took the whole break though to be, I feel like breaks also, it's hard to get into a break.
Yeah.
It takes me 3 or 4 days just to get into it.
Yep.
And really relax.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So then I soaked it up.
I did too. Yep. So hi everybody. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for being with us and coming back, and a special hello to our Patreon supporters. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. And we have a couple new people who have joined us over the holidays, Amy and Lisa. Welcome. Amy and Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being part of our community, and for supporting us and just all of your encouragement.
Yep.
It means the world.
It does.
It really does.
It does. So if you are new here, we just wanted to tell you briefly a little bit about our podcast. Mm-hmm. So what we try to do here is encourage you to be who you are for yourself and for your kids, because that's the most important thing that you can do for everybody. For everybody involved is for you to be yourself and stop comparing yourself to your neighbor who homeschools, or your friend who homeschools, or to us, or to anybody you see on Instagram who's doing things.
Right. And a lot of times that might actually mean taking things off of your plate instead of adding more things to your plate.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Doesn't that feel good just to listen, just to hear that?
Thank you for saying it.
Yeah, it might be the right thing to do.
Right.
A lot of times it is.
Right. Yeah. So we're trying to change the conversation a little bit about homeschool and help you to feel good about what you're already doing, because we know it's so when you're already doing something countercultural like homeschooling, it's fraught with anxiety about, am I doing this right? So we know that. So we're here to encourage you that you are doing a great job.
Yep. And we also know that you have everything inside of you right now to do it.
Right.
So
yeah. So before we start, we have a few announcements, because it's been a long break. And actually, last weekend, we got together for our annual planning retreat.
Yes.
So we made a bunch of plans for the upcoming year for Homeschool Unrefined. So we have a few announcements that we wanted to share. The first one is we are going to, for this upcoming season, be recording every other week instead of every week.
Yes.
And we're sorry. We know that disappoints some of you. But we want to give you the best of us, and we want to be realistic about what we can handle. We have a lot of kind of extra things that are going on for both of us in this upcoming season.
Yep.
And so we want to be sure that we're giving you the best of ourselves.
Exactly. And if we were just doing the podcast, I think we could just do it.
Oh yeah.
But we have all these other great ideas for Homeschool Unrefined, and we just can't ignore them anymore. We want to do them. We have all these great ideas. So just know that listening to our podcast every other week now is going to just means there's a lot of great things coming later.
Yeah. And now.
And
now. Actually, so
true.
Hopefully by the time this episode airs, we will have a new website.
Yes.
That we have been working on since September?
I don't know. A long
you guys,
time.
This has been a behind the scenes labor of love.
It's because we love you all.
Ah.
And we want a better place for you to go to find all of our things. And so it's a beautiful website. I cannot wait for everybody to see it.
Yeah.
And just know a lot of blood, sweat, and tears when I do it.
Yes. So hopefully that will be out today. If not, it'll be in a couple days.
Homeschoolunrefined.com. Go check it out.
Yes. Yes.
If it looks old, that means it's not time yet, but it will be soon.
Yes, for sure.
Most likely it will be here for you today.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made a few changes to Patreon that we just wanted to let everybody know. We added a few things to our $8 level. We have a $3 level and an $8 level. Just to back up, I should talk about what Patreon is, probably.
Yes, please do.
Okay, Patreon is our community of people who are supporting us and joining us in getting the message out of Homeschool Unrefined. And so in return for supporting us, they get some extra bonus things. So if you support us at the $3 level, you get extra episodes. It's for sure one a month, but a lot of times we put extra things in there too, so it ends up being more than once a month sometimes, but we do at least for sure one full one a month. And then at our $8 level, you get the extra episodes, and then you also get a community. So if you are looking for a community of homeschoolers, people who homeschool like you do, or maybe not, but who listen to our podcast, that is what the $8 level is for. So we have a Voxer group where we have a bunch of different chats on Voxer, which is kind of like voice texting. Right.
And then that has been really wonderful so far.
Yes.
And yet we've felt like there's so many other venues to communicate, so we are adding a Facebook group
for the $8 supporters.
For the $8 group. Yeah. So just another way to communicate and
build community. And some people are really into Voxer. Some people are more likely to use Facebook because it's texting and whatever. So so we added that too. So for the $8 supporters, you get that. You get the episodes, and then we added a free 30-minute coaching session with either Maren or I. So when you sign up, you can get a free 30 minutes on Skype with us. So we thought that would be a fun way. We really want to get to know everybody better, and so that's a fun way for that. And then also, if you have some questions or want to talk through some things, that would be a good way for you to do that. So that's our $8 level. So if you're interested and you've never done it, now might be a great time.
And then we just wanted to add some, another choice for you. If you are somebody who would love more coaching, we have a $40 level where you could have an hour of Skype every month with either Angela or I. And we will do a lot of preparing you for that, so you can come with lots of good information for us, and then we will have prepared lots of good stuff for you. And so I think it will be really fantastic for so many parents. I think there is this idea that getting help from somebody or even talking to people about what you're struggling with is like a bad thing or something, and we just want to demystify that. And I think coaching is such a great tool, and it's just right here for you. You can do it from your home, from your computer, your phone, or whatever. Take an hour away, go into your bedroom, and just chat with us. And this could be your turnaround,
Yeah.
Or even if there's just like one thing that you really want to work on.
Right.
We're here. We're here for you.
Yeah. And you don't have to do that forever. You can do it for a couple months and then be done with it, and then go back down to a smaller level. So, okay. Exactly. And then one more quick thing about Patreon. I just have to say, Jeremy and I recorded an episode. I finally coaxed my husband into coming on the podcast. Now, he wasn't like too keen on coming on this podcast because it's public. So I got him on Patreon. But he was so good. He was really good that I was like, now come on, you can do the regular podcast too. And he said, oh yeah, maybe. Okay. So hopefully someday we'll get him on here.
Takes a little.
Yeah. But we talked about, he was a reluctant homeschooler. So we talked about that. a lot.
Great.
We talked all about that. And then we also talked a lot about marriage. And Jeremy and I both, but he especially is like an open book.
Yep.
He just tells it like it is.
Yep.
So we didn't mince words there.
You're probably all going to want to get on that. I cannot wait to listen to that.
Yeah. Oh, so man. That's out right now.
That's great.
Yeah. And you, okay, I just have to say, your husband was on. Sean was on episode 35. Yep. This was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's right. When you were moving, I remember.
Oh, is that why you did it?
Yep.
Yeah.
You were moving, and that was a great conversation too. A lot about how I think he talked a lot about how, he's a big techie guy, and he talked about how technology is really helping homeschoolers, right now, and how great it is that homeschooling people that families are homeschooling because it's, so good for the future of our country.
Yes.
Or our world.
Yes.
Basically.
He has a lot of big ideas.
He has a lot of big ideas.
Yep.
So, those, I haven't listened to your husband, you and Jeremy talk yet, but I'm just assuming, I think these would be great for all husbands to listen to.
Yep. And they're different. The two different perspectives.
Yep.
So.
Yep, exactly.
Yes. All right. That's enough of the announcements.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I wanted to find out because the Golden Globes were on last night.
I know.
Did you get to watch them?
I did, for the most part.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it all.
Me too.
But it was so fun. I love the Golden Globes.
Me too. And
I just love watching them.
Me too. Does your whole family watch, or is it just
we
you?
do now.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah. Or they're all old enough to sit. I mean, some of them got a little bored after a while, but definitely my oldest.
Yeah. My kids are all into it. They are like pointing people out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, 'cause now they know all the famous people.
And they even said, "Mom, this is fun because I know a lot of people, and I bet you know even more."
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
To see these actors and actresses, when they win awards and they are visibly like shaken, and you can just tell it's like this is an award of a lifetime for them, and it's so great. I love that our kids get to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, did you have any parts of the show that you really liked?
Okay, I'm back on the A Star Is Born kick.
Oh my
gosh, I know. I need to see it again. I've been listening to Shallow all morning.
The best song
because it won.
Ever.
It won the best song. Yep.
Which was a given to me.
I know.
Mean, it had to win.
It had to. But I just love the two of them together. I want them to be a real life couple, and I know they're not. Because they have such good chemistry. So come on.
I'm sure it would just
probably just
like
work
that
out
off stage. I just feel like Lady Gaga poured her entire heart into that song.
Mm-hmm.
Every word that she sings, she belts it like it's the last word of her life or something, she just means it 1,000,000%.
I know. I love her.
I love her too.
I love that movie. And the movie didn't win any other things, but
which is crazy.
Kind of disappointing. I know there was a lot of good movies this year.
Yeah,
I mean, and I still have a few to see before the Oscars. But
I have a lot to see, I think.
Do you?
I think so.
What do you still want to see?
I want to see Green Book.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, need to see that.
I want to see Vice.
Sure. Yes. Mm-hmm. Even though it's not doing well in movie theaters, but
a lot of these, for a lot of awards, so I got to see it.
Yeah. And sometimes the award-winning shows don't.
Yeah. And he won for Best Actor. Christian Bale won for Best Actor, so I want to see that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Were there any other things that you liked from the show?
Well, I really loved the new award, the Carol Burnett
award.
Oh,
yeah, that was good.
So great.
I know.
And I had never really thought, because, there's the Cecil B. DeMille Award.
Yeah.
And that's for film.
Yeah.
A lifetime achievement in film, but there's never been one for TV.
I know.
I just had never thought of that.
Yep.
But anyway, Carol Burnett gave a great speech.
She did. And just looking back through her career was amazing. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, she's a woman who did all that stuff. She had a show. Her own show for 11 years.
Yeah.
It
is. That's mind-blowing. Even today.
I know, right.
For a woman
Still
to do
doesn't happen that often.
I loved how she talked about how, these variety shows would never even have been made, would never be made today.
Oh, right.
Because they just don't. Like, no studio would put up that much money anymore. Costs too much money.
Yeah. Yep.
But like, so she, she just felt like she just got this great gift of being able to do that when it was a thing to do.
Yeah.
I wish there were more of those, actually.
Yeah. Do you?
Just think of all the great actors and actresses we'd be able to see who are into that type of acting.
Don't you feel like that's kind of like, I mean, it's not, but what has evolved from that is kind of like Jimmy Fallon or Ellen or shows like that? Evolved from
Not
that.
exactly. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I think of it kind of like Saturday Night Live, though, where it's like skits.
Yeah.
And things like that, skit after skit after skit. But there's just like, there's Saturday Night Live right now.
Yeah.
And like, there could be so many little nuances of that that I would love.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Maybe after Carol's speech, there will be.
Maybe.
We'll see.
All right. Should we move on? Let's move on to our main topic.
Yes. We should.
So we wanted to talk a little bit today about how we are easing back in after the holidays.
Yes. It's always a transition.
So we're easing back in.
Yeah. How are you doing it,
well,
Angela? Like, did you... Okay, here's my question. Did you plan ahead and think, I'm going to ease back in this way? Or did you just think, we'll just take it how it comes? And
well, I'm not a big planner. So, no, I didn't
plan. That's why I'm asking. I think it's good for people to hear.
I didn't plan anything, but I did think to myself, we're going to ease back in. And then every day I'm kind of like, what should we do today? Should we do anything today? Should we do a couple things today? Should we do nothing today? What kind of day is today? That's how it goes at my house. And
I feel so validated when you say that, Angela, because I know you're not a planner, but you are a J on the Myers-Briggs.
Barely.
And
I'm just barely a J.
I mean, in a lot of ways, you're more of a J than
I'm more
I
of a J
ever
than
will
you
be. Yes. And so to hear you say that just is so validating to me, because I'm like that every day.
Yeah.
Every day too. So
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So
Cheers.
So actually, like, how it usually goes, how it went today was, I didn't think we were going to do anything today. My oldest is at Jeremy's work, doing some work there all day. So when you only have the youngest, it doesn't matter how old they are. I only have the youngest too. So probably.
So it's a wash.
I know.
It's so easy to say that.
I know. And it's weird because it's not like, it doesn't make any sense really. But they're the youngest.
I get it though.
And so I was thinking, well, we're not going to probably do much today. And then
I also think, like you and I have always said this, like, the younger your kids are, the less they don't need to have this intense learning periods all the time.
Right.
So you probably were thinking, well, my youngest do great. They can take a break.
They can take more of a break.
They can do less.
But then I realized mid-morning that wasn't going to fly. So
they needed more structure.
They need a little bit more structure. And this is what I'm going to talk about this later, actually. But so I don't want to go into it much now, but yeah, they need a little bit more structure. So then we did a little bit more.
Okay. So you're going to talk about that later. What you did.
In my what needs tweaking.
Yes.
I mean, good. I can say it now if you want, but.
Well, it's okay.
Okay. Well, wait. How do you ease back in?
Well, kind of the same way as you. I feel like the week between Christmas and New Year's was busy for us. We were out of town most of the time.
Okay.
And so I feel like, that was our break week. That was our main week of for me, not doing work on the podcast. And, for our kids, we were out of the house. So it really felt like a break from homeschool. And sometimes when we're in the house, and even if it is a break day, there's just I can find stuff for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that week really felt like a break. We were up in northern Minnesota, and there was lots of snow, and it was so much fun. So, but coming back, I did feel like now I need a break from the activity.
Mm.
And I mean, I just feel like I need a break at home now.
Mm. Yeah.
A little bit. So we took last week really, I mean, it was New Year's obviously too, and my daughter's birthday. And then we eased in with Adventure Co. We went back to that, which was such a great way to ease in.
Yep.
Because that's a homeschool staple for us, but it's like not, it's not like sitting at a table and focusing or anything like that. It was just going out and getting into nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was good. I just feel like even something like that where it didn't even feel like school necessarily, but it was just one of our usuals.
Right.
It's one of our routines that we just added back in.
Right.
And it felt very natural and very good. And it felt like we were sliding back into,
Yep.
routine.
That's great.
Yeah.
You reminded me that last week, which was the week of New Year's, I did start reading. I read aloud like a couple days too. So
Awesome.
I feel like that was and I read Christmas books because even though it was after Christmas, we didn't get to as many read alouds as I wanted, because I need to keep doing that. And so we read Christmas books last week. And I hope to do more of that this week. And read aloud might be our one way that we're easing into.
Reading aloud is such a great way to ease in. I'm writing that down right now because I need to do that. I feel like if we do read aloud, anything else can happen during the day. And you've
checked off the most important thing.
The most important thing.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Yeah. Totally.
And I feel like too, my kids, even though we're breaking or whatever, or whenever we're on a break, they still need a routine.
They do. Yeah.
And
they need to feel safe and secure with those
things
that are happening.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and our kids are, really even they're so routined with like their get up time and go to bed time, even that like when we were up north, it was like their cousins were going to bed at different times, and it was, I think sometimes that was a challenge. That is always, a challenge when we're somewhere else, because they really like that consistency, even if it's, a little bit later because it's a holiday or whatever. A little later is great, but like a lot later is real hard for them.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So, yeah, I know.
My kids are not like that.
I know.
They're like, oh, you're going to let me stay up till midnight? Okay, I will. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So every kid in every family is different. And so, but that's just one example of like a routine that is sometimes good for my kids.
Yeah, for sure.
To keep
I have to say one more thing. When you said you were away like on Christmas break or whatever, you were up north and now you need a break at home. Mine is we were at home all break and we didn't do a lot. Because, my daughter all my kids came off of doing these intense play experiences.
Right.
And my Jeremy took the week off between Christmas and New Year's. And so we were just home that whole time with like no obligations. And it was the best break ever. And
so awesome.
I am feeling like it's for the first time. I feel like, oh, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back. Like I'm trying to hang on to that feeling of being on break.
Yep.
And not coming back in.
Right.
So I was home having a break, but I still feel like I need more.
When you were home and you were having a break, did you have structured time during the day, or was it okay to not have that structure during the day?
Gosh, that's interesting. I think when Jeremy's home, all bets are off. It's just like, because it's like a weekend. So, because he's super, he's an extrovert and he's super into hanging out with kids and do like he'll like walk in the living room and be like, anybody want to play a game? And they all play a game. Or anybody want to watch a movie? And they all do that. Or anybody want to go skating?
Yeah.
And I'm like reading on the couch the whole day.
Okay, I have to ask you another thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that happens sometimes at our house too. But I feel like, okay, when Jeremy says, does anybody want to go ice skating?
Mm-hmm.
What if only 1 or 2 kids says yes?
Then
Does he just bring those 2?
Yep.
Okay. That's good to know.
But sometimes then the third will be like, okay, I guess I don't want to miss out.
Yeah. Okay. I think we need more of that. I'm just thinking, I mean, I like to hear that because I feel like I've been feeling like that's where our family kind of needs to go.
Oh.
But I feel like we do, when it's ice skating time, we all go ice skating.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
When it's movie time, we all sit down and watch a movie together. And so, which I think is really great. I think that family time is, it's priceless.
Yep.
So I want to hold on to that. But as our kids get older, I think it's so important. I'm just learning. It's so important for us to like let them have some of those choices. Like, yeah, I'm not going to go ice skating today. I'm doing something else.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yep.
And it's great for the people who want to go. So we have to learn to transition into that like older kid kind of phase, I think.
Yeah, I was starting to get stressed out with all 5 of us trying to decide what we all wanted to do together.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody's got different ideas.
Right.
And so I kind of even said, like, let's say you want to watch Home Alone. Then just say, hey, I'm going to watch Home Alone. Does anybody want to join me? Mm-hmm. That's all you have to do. And then, like, if you want to join, you can. Like, we don't all have to sit around and go, what movie should we watch? Because that stresses me out.
That could be an hour of just, angst.
Yeah. So we kind of made that decision. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. So, but sometimes you still have like a family movie.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But
well, generally, like everybody just joins. Usually. Yeah. And then there's no fighting over what movie we watched. It's just,
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That seems like a more natural approach. I like that. I like it.
Yeah. All right, let's move into our check-in.
Okay.
So for our check-in, we're going to talk about what's going well, what needs tweaking, and we're going to do a self-care check-in.
Yep.
How that's going.
All right.
Do you want to talk, Maren, let's hear from you. What's going well?
Sure. Okay. Well, so today I decided, I was kind of like you, I was like, okay, starting school today. What are we going to do? It's got to be something very easy. We did a few things in the morning. We had a doctor's appointment, first of all, which kind of just messes up the morning. But one thing that I have loved already today is we watched a documentary.
Oh, yeah.
On Netflix, and it was so good.
What was it?
Well, the one we watched was called Tales by Light.
Okay.
Called Tales by Light, and it's about how photography can open up a topic to the whole world.
Oh.
Like a photographer can go into a part of a world, take pictures, and like teach everyone in the world about it with their great photos.
Wow. Okay.
I know. It was and then you learn about the place that this photographer goes to. So we all watched this episode. There's episodes.
Okay.
So we watched an episode on Bangladesh.
Oh.
And kids in Bangladesh.
Okay.
And the jobs they have.
Yeah.
The poorest kids in the city. I can't remember the name of the city, but the city in Bangladesh. And it was mind-blowing. I mean, for me, and for my kids too. It was just wow. We were amazed, and the videography and photography were amazing.
Right.
And it really just, takes us out of our own little safe, comfortable world, and we learned about this other part of the country and these kids their age. I mean, or younger. Mm-hmm. Doing these hard, dangerous jobs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
how'd you find that? Are you just scrolling through Netflix and you see it? Or?
Well, we have a family button on a family profile.
Okay.
And I always put documentaries on there. I just add documentaries to that one.
Okay.
And so I think it just popped up.
Okay.
This time because of what I have on our list, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So I decided today, while we were watching that, I think January is going to be a documentary month for us.
Oh, okay.
And maybe we'll just watch a part or whole, depending on how long it is, of a documentary every day.
Great
for
idea.
homeschool.
That is a great idea.
We could documentary school.
Yes, you could.
Because there are so many documentaries. I mean, just on Netflix, I was looking. Well, we have watched, actually, this is more of a reality show, but it's called 7 Days Out.
Okay.
Where a company or a big project gets put together, and it's the last 7 days before the big whatever.
Oh.
And that was so interesting. I mean, just like learning how a big project comes to fruition or whatever.
Right.
So interesting. We also have watched this documentary called Abstract.
Okay.
Which is just about an artist and the process of an artist.
Okay.
So interesting. And then there's just like tons of nature and animal documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unlimited, just about.
Yeah. And
our kids would just love that. And then there's a World War II one that I really want to show the kids, because I have at least one child who just is so interested in World War II. But also, I just have to say, we also have Curiosity Stream.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Which it's an app just for documentaries for kids. I mean, I don't know if it's just for kids. It's probably not just for kids, actually. But I mean, I think it's probably geared for, an educational setting. So it's like $2.99 a month.
Okay.
And it's like, you name the topic, they will have a documentary about it.
And then is that app like right on your Kindle Fire or your Amazon TV or Apple TV? Or
Yep. It can be on any of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. $2.99 a month. So, and I mean, seriously, I just looked through it today because I was thinking, wow, now I want to like start making a list of the movies I want to see, or these documentaries. There is one about the real Mary Poppins.
Oh, there's a real Mary Poppins?
Apparently.
Okay.
There are documentaries about dogs, which my kids would, love. And lots of things about like science, lots of science ones.
Right.
And about the future, like what's going to happen in the future and all that stuff. I mean, and I just think my kids would love that so much. They'd eat it up.
Yeah. Do you have a time of day are you doing that in the morning or?
Well, we just did it today. We just did it right after lunch, which felt like a really good time for us.
Yeah.
Because we all kind of wanted to not do anything.
Right.
After lunch. But you're still learning stuff.
I feel like I need to, if I'm going to do that, I need to build it into the routine.
Yeah.
So they just know it's coming.
Yeah. And I was thinking maybe just every day after lunch, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great idea. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I cannot compete with your What's Going Well. That was such a good one.
Well, listen, it just happened an hour ago, so I'm real glad it happened.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh good, something's going on.
Okay, so my What's Going Well is small, but it's actually really impactful, and I'm really proud of myself. So I have to share.
Good. I love those.
Okay.
I love those small, impactful things.
Yeah. So the thing that impacts your child's reading the most?
I do. Is this rhetorical?
Sure.
What? I don't know what.
The parent reading. Them seeing their parent reading.
Totally.
That's the thing, right? And
Yep.
like we know that. We know how important that is, but we don't do it enough. At least I don't do it enough.
I totally agree.
And I've been doing that. Well, I think because it's been break, but I've been reading so much and intentionally in front of them. I'm like putting myself in the living room, even though I'd rather go in my bedroom, putting myself in the living room and I'm reading a ton and showing them a lot of my reading.
So
and I want to keep this going so badly. But breaks over probably. I think. I don't know.
But you can still.
I know.
Do you think you can still do? I mean, do you take time every day to read?
Well, you do at night, and they don't see it because we're all in bed.
Right,
but I need to be doing it during the day. So I need to find a time that's during the day that they see. And
So tough.
it might be, I don't know. We have some stuff going on in the morning, so that might not be the best, but it's going to have to be some time where I plop myself down, like I said, in my routine and do it. So that
Definitely.
even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes.
What if you do documentary time and then right afterwards
and then reading?
You get to stay there.
Yeah, and we do deer time a lot, but sometimes I don't participate because I have other things I got to do.
Oh, that's the time though.
I know. Where we all just do it.
Yep.
Because
ignore the dishes.
I want them to know that reading is for enjoyment and entertainment and not because you have to.
Yep. Exactly. I
for
totally
school
agree.
Or something
totally
or to learn something, but just because it's fun. And I don't know, that week between Christmas and New Year's, I track my reading on Goodreads. I track what books I'm reading. And,
awesome.
Goodreads gives you the option to do a reading challenge every year.
Okay.
Which is like, pick out how many books you're going to read in the year, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And so, for some reason, between Christmas and New Year's, I'm like trying to up my number. Which is kind of dumb. Because I already reached my goal. Oh. But I was still like, I got to get this in before January 1st. I don't know. And so I read a lot. It was motivating for me.
That is so great.
Yeah.
Wow. I agree. It's very impactful.
It's very impactful.
It's so impactful. And I am not a natural sit down and read person, but when I do it, I absolutely love it. It's my favorite time of the day.
Yeah. And I also want them to see me listening to audiobooks, but that's harder to see.
Yeah, it is.
It's harder to show unless I'm talking about it.
Exactly.
Which I need to do that more. So
I have been doing that a lot more, especially with my oldest, because she's interested in the books I'm reading now.
Yeah. Okay, so Maren, what needs tweaking for you?
Well, this kind of goes with what I was just saying. What needs tweaking for me is I feel like our kids are all getting older. Mm-hmm. They're 12, 10, and 8 now. They all just had birthdays.
Past the birthday season.
Thank God. And I feel like we're in this new phase of like pre-adolescence or adolescence, and I need to learn to deal with them differently, really, is what it is. Everything kind of needs a little tweak. My approach to almost everything. Just a little tweak to adjust for where they are developmentally right now.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of it is like, how you were saying when you bring a game out, then like everybody wants to play it. Well, for me, like I used to bring games out and everybody's like, yay, a game. Everybody was super excited. Now I bring out a game and they're like,
I know.
No thanks.
I know.
So it just like really breaks my heart.
I know.
Because I
know.
I just feel like, come on, you guys. You used to love this. And
I know.
I cannot wallow in the past and where my kids were because they're wonderful human beings where they are right now. And I want to soak up this time where they are right now. And so that just means, like if they don't want to go ice skating, they need to, or something like that. That's just an example. But if they don't want to go ice skating, then they don't maybe necessarily have to every single time we go ice skating.
Okay.
And there's just little choices like that I need to like build in to our day more and more. I'm just noticing that. But the good news about that, I think, is the older they get, the more responsible they want to be. Mm-hmm. They want to feel more responsible. So I feel like that's like getting easier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The responsibility part, which is just, you think everybody have hope. You think your kids are never going to learn this stuff. They're going to learn how to take care of themselves.
Oh, my gosh. They do. You guys, today, my 10 and 12-year-old on their own cleaned up the kitchen because they didn't like how messy it was.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
It's amazing.
I mean, my other child would not do that, but these two do. And I am just like, what? I thought you would never do chores ever.
Yes.
And now you're doing it on your own.
I used to have to stand over you and just make sure everything happened. So so there are good but great and, tough things about this time, but I have got to learn to adjust my mind. Just psychologically, I have to go with them where they are right now.
Yep.
So
that is so wise. And my kids are on the whole 2 years older than yours. I have 13, 12 almost, and 10. My 13-year-old will be 14 soon.
yeah.
But I don't think I've learned that yet. I think I'm still hanging on to the past.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, I mean, and then there are times like when we watch a documentary that I'm like, well, everybody's sitting down for this. Sorry, guys. This is happening.
Oh, you do? Okay.
You know? Yeah, because, you know, this is one time. There has to be times too, I feel like, when it's just
this is what we're doing.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
But so it's not it can't be a free for all
I know.
either. And also I just need to be thoughtful about what would interest them now. It's not the same as what would interest them 2 years ago.
Right.
You know? And I just think, and also I think about this so often. I'm sure you all do too, but my 12-year-old, you know, everybody, the younger kids kind of just, they are definitely like watching her and following her. And so, you know, when she was 8 and then the other kids were 6, 6, and 4, great.
Yeah.
Everybody would do whatever. You know, I'd come up with an idea and they would just love it. But now, you know, now my 8-year-old,
yeah.
She's like, you know, she sees her older siblings and it's just not the same kind of 8.
It's totally
a different kind of 8.
Yeah.
When you're the youngest of 4.
Yeah.
So we're adjusting.
Yeah.
And I know it's a constant adjustment. Right. I know that.
Right. Right.
I could probably say this every time.
I know.
I'm tweaking this.
I know. I hear you and I agree and I need to do better at that too. I've been thinking about that. I'm hanging on to some younger kid things.
Yeah.
And I probably need to adjust also. So.
Well, it's such a tricky age too because I mean they are still so young in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like my oldest has always had an interest level, like her interest level in books and movies and shows or whatever has always been older than who she is. Like even when she was a little girl.
Yeah.
Not interested in cartoons really. Just show me the real stuff. Or you know, she was just never she wanted like I don't know, this level of sophistication or something, you know, that cartoons just didn't have or whatever. So it's so tricky right now because her interest level is so high and yet she's still a 12-year-old.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and
you don't want to push her to grow up too fast.
No.
You don't want to give her all this stuff for 16-year-olds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet I want her to feel like I'm valuing her, who she is
as
a person, and she's always been like this. So, you know, I want to say, yeah, I see that, and I want to give you the freedom to explore your interests, and yet, you know,
no, I get it.
I still need to like watch every single thing.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I get it.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so my what needs tweaking,
yes.
I alluded to it before. My kids are in need of a routine.
Yes.
I feel like, is this something I say every time for tweaking? I feel like it is.
One of us
says
does
this every time. But my kids are back to fighting.
Yeah.
We had a great break where nobody fought, and I think it's because Jeremy was home and it was like a different routine and it was the holidays and it was fun. Now they're back. If I don't get them in a routine quickly, if I don't get back to, like, they are fighting a lot.
Yes.
And I really need to re-listen to our kids fight, which we just re-released a couple weeks ago. I need to go re-listen to that because that's happening now, and I'm getting frustrated. And I know if I was a little bit proactive, there would be less fighting.
So proactive in routines.
Proactive in the routine.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened this morning. Was about 10 or 10:30. My two were fighting like a lot, and I was just, oh my gosh, we need a routine. What am I doing? I'm just because I have things I want to do today. Doesn't mean you do.
Right.
You're just gonna sit around and fight if I don't like guide your day
a little bit.
Guide your day a little bit. And so once I did that, it got better. I gave them
I feel like even with a little routine, then they come up with other things. Like I feel like today when I added a few things in, then suddenly when somebody finished the thing they needed to do, they were like, I'm going to play a game. And I was like, well, great. you could have done that before I
know.
thought of all the things you had to do, but
Right.
sometimes it takes a little structure to like for them to be thinking, for them to be proactive in it too or something.
Yeah, they need a little kickstart.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. For sure.
So true.
So I hopefully by the next time we check in,
Yeah.
I'll be in a good routine.
Oh, I really hope so. And I know that is a transition time.
We're in a time of transition right now. So yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well, good.
Let's do a self-care check-in.
Yeah.
How's your self-care going, Maren?
And
let me just say, preface this by saying the reason why we do a self-care check-in
yes,
is we want you, listeners, to also evaluate your own self-care. Ask yourself, how's it going? What could I be doing differently? Because this is your chance to reflect on that for yourself. So go ahead, Maren. How's it going?
Yeah. Well, so good. I really wanted to do a Whole30 in January.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my husband, Sean, really wanted to do a juice cleanse for 3 days, like a 3-day juice cleanse.
Okay.
So we're kind of combining the two.
Okay.
We started out with a Whole30 January 2nd, and just today started this juice cleanse for 3 days.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It is so interesting because I don't like New Year's resolutions. I don't normally think about doing all this stuff in January, but it was just a natural time for both of us to start it.
Right.
It was just the right time.
Does he normally get into New Year's type resolutions?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily. I mean, he likes to do a lot of goal setting and planning for the new year and stuff. And, we have a lot of things planned for 2019.
Oh, okay.
Because he has, he's like, I want to look ahead and make these plans or whatever. So that's great. But I don't know that he makes resolutions necessarily.
Right. Okay. So why do the Whole30? Why are you doing that?
Well, I've done it several times. You and I have done it a few times together.
Yep.
And I feel like every time I do it, I learn something more about my body, and I get into better habits. And even though I would never, I probably won't stick to a Whole30 for the rest of the year, there's something that will stick with me. And it helps me refocus on the health of my body. And I remember how good it feels.
Yeah.
To eat this way.
Yeah.
I remember how good it feels.
Yeah.
And especially this time, it's been a little bit, quite impactful on our kids too. We've been talking to them just very, very nonchalantly, like, we're doing this because like our organs need like a break from all the stuff we put in it every day. Our organs have to work so hard, and we just have to give them a break and like clean them out and stuff like that. So they have all been listening and watching very carefully, and they've even done like a sugar break.
Yeah.
Some of them, even if it's just for a day or two.
Right.
Or whatever. So, and that's all on their own, which I think is just so great.
Yeah.
So powerful. So yeah, I think it's just, a way to kind of like stop and reflect on what's going on in my body.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I know by the end, because I've done this before, I know by the end if it's going to feel great. The first week is very hard always.
Yeah.
But I do, because of my past experience, I do know what's coming up. I do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Except cooking those meals for the whole family is exhausting.
Yeah. I know. We are going to pay our 10-year-old to make meals for us, because she always wants to make meals anyway.
Ooh, great idea.
I know.
I
know, right?
That is a great idea.
Yeah. Because, she's super into it, and she's always looking for ways to make money.
That is
And we would
amazing.
pay more for, those basket meals, or the sun basket, or the box meals. But they're really expensive, and there's not quite enough food for our whole family. So this is like, we'll pay her a few dollars, and then we
Such
get a
great
meal
idea.
taken care of.
Such a great idea. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
All
awesome.
right. So
Okay.
how's your self-care going, Angela?
Okay, well, I feel like I know I said this, and I'm going to say it again, but the holiday break was so good for me. I feel like I was able to really focus on self-care for myself. Like I was able to go on walks. I was able to slow down and like do my stretching. I feel old saying that, but I need to do stretching every day.
Is so good.
So does Jeremy. We both do stretching, but I was able to like stop and do that kind of stuff. Because Jeremy was on break, we were watching shows together, going to movies.
Awesome.
I just feel like I was doing lots of things to calm my body, which is what I needed. I needed that so badly. And so right now it's going great. So my trick is going to be how to implement it. And we are in that tricky time in Minnesota where there's no snow on the ground. But it's cold. And
such a tough time.
Do not know how to get outside and go for a walk. I mean, I can get outside and go for a walk, but I don't wanna.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a challenge for me.
Yep.
Because it's so gray too. It's just, I don't know. If there was snow, it'd be so nice.
That was gonna be my what needs tweaking.
Really? What, the weather?
The weather. The weather needs tweaking.
Yeah.
Because if it's gonna be cold, we need snow.
I mean, it's actually kind of nice out. It's like 30 degrees or 40 or something.
Yeah.
So that's good. But it just feels like when I make my kids go outside, they don't know what to do.
Right. Yeah, it's this in-between weather.
Anyway, so I need to figure out how to keep doing a lot of the same things I was doing. Like I said, reading. I need to go for a walk every day, although I don't.
Yeah.
I'm still doing Pilates twice a week, which is really great. I love that so much. And if I can do that, my stretches, and get to sleep at a decent hour and eat healthy, then I feel great.
That's so great.
Yeah. Oh, and then
sleep is so important.
It is. It is so important. Oh my gosh. And then
changes everything.
Over break, I would made a lot of soup. I made soup 4 days, and I make a big pot, so it lasts a long time. And I just feel so good because it's healthy, and I can eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So
if I need
nourishing.
To. So nourishing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah,
I should make more soups.
They're
easy enough to make.
They're easy. Well, they're easy. You just need the time. You need to set aside the time.
Time to cut things.
Chop veggies.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
I can do that.
What did I make? I made I'll just tell you what I made. I made potato soup. This was my LTW 1 week, the Pioneer Woman's Perfect Potato Soup.
Yes.
That's always a hit. My whole family loved it. I made chili, which I just love. And you know what I did?
So great.
Somebody in our Voxer group.
Yes, I was going to ask you.
Suggested adding a can of pumpkin to the chili.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have cans of pumpkin, but I have fresh pumpkin. So I added that to the chili, in a puree form. You couldn't even tell, but it was really creamy. Couldn't taste the pumpkin, but it was really creamy. Really good.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
that's great.
I just think, and that's more veggies.
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
So,
yep.
Why not? It was good.
Why not?
Yeah. So, anyway.
So awesome.
Yeah. Well, that was a great conversation.
It was packed.
Packed full
of great stuff. I'm so glad we talked about all this today.
Yeah. And we're glad to be back.
Definitely.
Glad to be back.
Yep. Feels good.
Yeah. Let's move on to loving this week.
All right.
What are you loving, Maren?
I am loving this. It's a new app that I got. It's called Scrib'd.
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you have heard of it. Maybe you all probably all know about this already. But Scrib'd it's like Netflix for ebooks and audiobooks.
Okay. Yes.
Also has magazines and articles and other things too.
Okay.
But I first just got it for audiobooks, and it's been so great because, I have Audible, but I also feel like the commitment level, I feel like this commitment when I buy a book, I'm like, well, I should really make sure I love this book. It's the book that I really want. But with Scrib'd, I can just try it out and listen to it and then ditch it and listen to something else, or I can listen to a whole book and then I don't own it. There's something about not owning it. I don't know. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I still have Audible because there are several books that I just want to keep. Especially those are great for kids. Those are great for the kids books.
Because those kids' books get listened to over and over and over again on Audible.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, and
Audible has everything. Pretty much.
Yes.
They have the entire selection. Scrib'd does not. Is that right?
Right. It does not have everything. It has a lot. So, you just have to check.
So it's kind of like Netflix, where there's a lot of great stuff.
It's not all there.
But it sometimes comes and goes.
Right. You need Hulu sometimes.
Yeah. Or Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Or Prime. Yeah. So I am loving it, though. I'm loving it. And I've listened to so many great books so far. I don't even know if I can name them all. And I've had it for maybe a month or a month and a half or something like that.
Okay.
I've listened to several great audiobooks. My favorite by far is Becoming by Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Which I think is probably going to be let's just call it our bonus loving this week.
Our bonus joint LTW this week.
Yeah.
Would be.
We both loved it.
Becoming. And I just have to say.
Yeah.
It lives up to the hype. Because, everybody's talking about it. But I thought. Well, I thought it was probably going to be good. But I also thought, I think anybody of her stature writes a book.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of hype.
For sure.
She's a former first lady. So there's going to be a lot of hype. People are going to be talking about it a lot. So I kind of had to see for myself. And it was so good.
She's an eloquent writer.
Yeah.
She's an amazing writer. And I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
At all. I kind of thought, I don't know what I thought. Thought maybe she's going to get help from writing. How do you know if somebody's going to be a great can write, an autobiography? I don't know. Yeah,
such a bonus. Yep. That she can write.
It was an amazing. And I was on the edge of my seat. Even though I knew what was going to happen.
What's going to happen?
Is she going to get the guy? Yeah, she is. And I was still excited to find out what was going to happen.
So she talks she's really open about her childhood. She talks about race. She talks about parenting. She talks about marriage. She talks about being a working parent.
Yes.
And then the second half of the book is just the interesting craziness of living in the White House.
And just being the wife of a politician, from the beginning when he was when Barack was a state senator.
Yeah.
That was fascinating to me. Just that.
Totally.
But and then being in the White House.
Because would you do that? Because she was when he had political aspirations, she was real reluctant.
Yeah, she's like, you're doing a lot. You're already doing a lot. You're doing enough. I think this is, let's just cut it off. This is plenty.
I want my husband back.
Yeah.
Kind of. I want to have a regular life. A normal life.
Mm-hmm. And she'd say, well, what makes you think you can do this job and that job and that job and then also be a state senator? How do you think that's ever going to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he wanted to become run for president, I think I might have just said no. We're not doing that. But how do you?
Because there wasn't really any hope for them at the time when they were making the decision. It was more just they didn't have a ton of hope that he'd get it. It was just the experience and the moving forward of and they just thought it would be good to do.
Yeah.
But it does, they really didn't think.
Yeah. And then her whole life changes. All of a sudden you're this public figure, one of the biggest public figures.
Yeah.
And everything there's no privacy anymore.
Yep.
For the rest of her life.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating. It makes me want to read more political memoirs from first ladies.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that.
I'm sure there are many.
Yeah.
All right. Angela, what's your loving this week?
Okay, so in addition to that one, I've got another book that I loved. It's called The Song Poet. It's by Kao Kalia Yang.
Yep.
She's a Hmong American Minnesota writer. And she actually wrote a book before this. I don't know, it's maybe been 5, 7, 8 years now, called The Late Homecomer, which we both read and loved.
Oh,
So that was a memoir of her family's journey from a Thai refugee camp. Well, basically their whole life. And then they ended up in a Thai refugee camp, and then they came over here. Her parents came over to Minnesota. And so it was about that journey, which is so interesting. I love immigrant memoirs.
Yeah.
I've been Googling that word, immigrant memoir.
really?
Like, I need to read
Awesome.
more of these. And they're not that, well, if anybody has any great recommendations, let me know.
So the Song Poet is a continuation of her life in America?
No, The Song Poet is another memoir, but this is focused on her father specifically.
Oh, nice.
And his life. So it's a lot of, stories from him as an adult and as a child in, Thailand and Laos and here.
Oh, wow.
And her father, he's here, he's in Minnesota, and he works at like a factory. That's his job here.
Yes.
But really, he's this very talented poet, and he sings his poetry. And it's kind of a hidden gift that he has.
Oh,
And he
wow.
made these tapes, but he tried to sell them, but nothing really happened. But that's his real gift and talent, but nobody knows about it,
Wow.
And he's like, I don't know. It was just, the whole memoir was just so beautiful. And it was about family and relationships. And it was one of the best books I've read in a long time. It was so good.
Oh, I
so,
can't
so,
wait.
so good. And now I want to read The Late Homecomer again, because I remember loving that one just as much too.
And you made me put it on my
Scrib'd list.
my Scrib'd this weekend when we were together at the retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should
So,
definitely
it's on my
listen to
list.
that. It's so good. And it's just like,
I can't wait.
Assimilating, and then the kids are like American, and they don't really get the parents, and that there's disconnect, but still like such great connection, and it's just so good. So
yes,
I love it.
So awesome. And is this a brand new book?
No,
or
it's
how old
like,
is it?
I think it was written in 2016. I didn't know about it.
Okay.
My mom told me about it 'cause she read it for book club and loved it. So
well, I knew she was writing another book.
Okay.
But that was probably when I was reading The Late Homecomer. I think she was writing another book.
Yeah, this was it.
So that
Gosh,
was it.
I hope she writes another one.
No kidding.
So anyway, thank you everybody for listening. We're so glad to be back. If you would like to follow us, we are on Facebook and Instagram at Homeschool Unrefined. We have a closed Facebook group. We'd love to have you join. It's called Unrefined Homeschoolers. If you do, there's a question that you should answer.
Just make sure you answer that question. I think sometimes people miss it. So
right.
Just don't forget there's a question to answer. It's just for us to know that you're not a robot.
Basically.
And then also that group is for everyone.
Yeah.
So we have a Facebook group for all of our listeners. That's the Unrefined Homeschoolers group. So
right. Yep. And we have a website, hopefully a new website today.
Fingers crossed.
Homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links to everything that we talked about. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.